welcome everyone. Welcome back. This is season 11 of Contest of Speed. This is round 12 of the EU2 Championship, and we're back in the booth for another week. My name is BK, and joining me yet again, none other than Hazmania. How are you doing tonight, Haz?
Hello, BK. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Glad to be here with you, as usual.
That's good to hear. I'm doing well also. How is the weather across the pond?
Weather across the pond, a little cloudy, but starting to warm up. No more snow, so that's good. How about over there?
That's a whole lot better than here. It's already dark,
Oh
so
no.
enjoy the sunlight while you can.
We definitely will. And speaking of sunshine, we definitely have that this week in Monza for a little bit of a change from the wet races we've gotten in EU2. As mentioned, we are making a stop at the Autodromo Nacional Monza, the Temple of Speed, and home of Tifosi, who are hopeful that this week the Prentice brothers in red, infamous for their top speed, will come out on top. We're in for about 27 laps of this 5.7 kilometer circuit, which offers 11 turns, 4 to the left and 7 to the right, as well as 2 DRS straights enabling top speed north of 340 kph. We're sure to be in for an exciting race with all dry conditions forecast throughout the qualifying and the race, and all chaos is bound to happen in turn 1. Before we move on to this week, though, we'll refresh your memory from last week, where for the second week in a row, Alfa Romeo was on the top step of the podium after a very wet race. This time, though, it was Electric Blade who started in P1 and completed the Grand Slam after leading every lap, winning the race, and getting the fastest lap. Dan Robbo and Racer rounded out the final podium positions, each coming from P9 and P10, as what we would call a shock podium for those two. But now we move on to Monza and the championship as it stands right now.
Oh, sorry, you've caught me off guard a bit there. I'll get this up prompt. Yeah, so looking at the standings from last week's race result, we can see McLaren are leading the constructors on 199 points, and Ferrari not too far behind with a crisp 179 points. That leaves only a 20-point gap between the Woking based team and the. Ooh, I'm not quite sure where Ferrari are based. Do you know?
Maranello.
Maranello. There we are. You learn something new every day. So Ferrari just chasing them with a string of good race results. Alfa Romeo in P3 in the constructors after some very strong results, 2 wins as you mentioned before, BK. Williams in P4 and Red Bull in P5. Mercedes in P6, Aston Martin in P7, followed by Haas only by 1 point. AlphaTauri in P8 and Alpine in P9. And from the driver's standings, you can see Cornish Cook leading the championship very comfortably with a solid 151 points. Electric Blade, P2, quite far behind, but still in the mix somewhere on 98 points. And then we have El Prentice, the first of the home team racing tonight. He's on 92 points. And Jay Prentice, just following behind him, only 5 points behind on 87. Dan Robbo is in P5, racing for the Williams. Racer in P6, Matty Robbo in P7, Don Amo in P8, Ecos AJ in P9, we have Loy Kyoko in P10, Charlie Kingdon in P11, Roland in P12, Jack King in P13, Pipe Tech in P14, and TGL Stewart P15. And rounding out the last 5, we have Wisey Boy, Kelsa Swag, eBird, Ecos Hawkey, and Y Inside, who is rather new to this tier.
Yeah, Weinstein did get a podium before he was full-time seat, but unfortunately those points will not count. As Jack King is off track at the exit of Ascari, and Jay Prentice has retired from the session. Who's coming down?
Wow, that's come as quite a shock there. He did go out on the medium tyre, setting a 121.193, but that's not something you want to see for a home team.
Yeah, it actually looks like he lost it on the exit of Ascari there. But he's got a
Well,
time on the board at least.
I'm no stranger to hitting the old razzle dazzle round that corner, and it certainly claimed a lot of front wings over over my past racing career. It's a lethal corner, that one.
For some reason, I don't think I have game audio on the stream. I don't know if it's not coming through my headset at least. Jay Prentice comes across the line. It's a 22.0.
And Ecos AJ has just set provisional pole with a 120.074. So that is a leaps and bounds above the rest. He is 7 tenths clear or thereabouts from P2.
Yeah, it is a stonking lap, as they say. As his Red Bull teammate crosses the line, not a representative lap, it appears. Next across the line is Alfa Romeo Coast on Ammo. Looks to be starting a lap rather than setting one.
Well, I for one, I'm hoping that Cornish Mantis gets a little bit of redemption after yesterday's race. We were racing together at the time, not teammates, but everyone, especially in this grid, they're so friendly. Everyone knows each other. We have a few COS veterans, but we'll be hoping that Cornish has a better race because he actually won EU3. And it came down to the final lap on a dry track, and he made a lovely move into turn one on that final lap, and he won fairly comfortably after that. But in yesterday's race, XP2, he unfortunately had some difficulties and spun quite a few times. And I think that may have something to do with the track temperature. And in EU3, it was very sunny and he dominated the race. But in XP2, it was a bit cloudy and the track temperature had reduced quite a bit. And I have a feeling that's going to have an effect on tonight's race as well, as I believe it's quite cloudy.
Yeah, we do have dry conditions, but that's not going to stop the overcast clouds from rolling in and giving us some shade for the race. So you're right, definitely could have implications on many things with track temperature being much lower. So we watch AJ coming around, setting his second lap, I believe.
I think, meanwhile, that's happening. I'd just like to point out that Cornish Mantis has, in fact, gone P2. He's still half a tenth or half a second down on AJ, but it's a very, very much improved lap from him. And it's always good to see him fronting the pack, the two Red Bulls.
Not many cars on track at the moment, kind of that midpoint of qualifying where only a few people will be out, but we are on board with J-Ray at the moment. And he gets a little squirrely out of the second chicane there. He sticks it on the track still. Through Lesmo 1 and 2. Now powering down the straight towards Ascari. Keeps it nice and tidy through there. Already many have had some difficulties with that. Couple turns there.
Electric Blade, just ahead of him, has gone P3 with a 126.
20.6. And it's going to be an aborted lap for J-Ray, unfortunately. Jack King's invalidated. Let's get on board with Taser here, which according to Maddie is E-Bird. So E-Bird's back for another race in the Haas. He's invalidated through Ascari. Down Ammo is coming to the line to start another lap, I believe.
Reaching speeds of 217 mile per hour. I'm not quite sure what that is in kilometers per hour, but I'm sure it's equivalent to very fast. It looks like he might be running 0 2 or somewhere with a zero in his setup.
If you have anything above a zero in your setup, you're making a mistake. I'm kidding. But it is pretty
Well,
notoriously a very
ooh,
low downforce track.
it is indeed. I was convinced yesterday to run a reduced wing setup, and it was my first flying lap, and I don't think I made it out of turn two before I retired. Tactically, of course, we don't want to make it too easy for them.
Don Ammo finishing his lap off. And he goes pole, 119.8. First one into the 19s. Taser set at 120.1 as well. I believe El Prentice is next to the line. Needs to salvage something for the Ferrari. Goes P8, 120.8. Next across line is Dan, I believe, who is starting a lap. Let's get on with Jack King here. Coming to the line. He's up on his time. He puts it P4 right behind his teammate. Haas locking out the second row of the grid as it stands.
You just wonder if the Ferrari effect still takes place in F1 games.
The Ferrari effect?
Yeah, the Ferrari effect, where you have a Ferrari engine, you may not have a physical advantage, as we race on equal performance, but just knowing that you're in a Ferrari on a Ferrari track just might give you that extra tenth or two that you need during qualifying.
It just might. It just might, but speaking of someone who found an extra tenth or two, AJ has popped himself back ahead of Don Hamo into the 19s as well. I know you're
That is an
refraining
incredible
from
lap from him,
commentating
though.
on AJ.
Oh yeah, I better not talk about him after the last two races. I'll make sure not to focus on him this race coming. The DMs got a bit heated last time after that, so let's wish him the best, and I think we should ignore him for the rest of the race. And you never know, he might end up doing well.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. His electric blade is starting a lap. I believe Jack King's coming into the pits. AJ should also be coming in the pits. There's 4 minutes left in qualifying.
I think we only have four cars out on track, if I'm not mistaken. One of them on an outlap. That is J Ray in the McLaren.
Matty is coming to the line in the Williams. What's it going to be for him? Jumps into P3, 120.1. Is a pretty solid lap. I
Now
wonder if he's going to have time for another one, though. Or is his
that's an
qualifying set
impressive lap
done?
from Matty Robbo there.
Absolutely.
You'd love to see it.
Mantis should be the next cross the line. Let's stick with him here. He's half a
Ooh,
tenth
looks
down on
like
his lap.
he might have had some difficulties coming through Ascari. He's just come out of there.
Yeah,
Slow down. He's trying to charge up his ERS. It looks like he's going again, or maybe he'll try and pit. I'm not quite sure.
we did see yellow flags there, definitely. He is charging on, it seems. Electric Blade is coming to the line. He's up on his time. He improves by 3 tenths, up into P5, 120.3. Pretty solid lap for the man who started on pole last week, but a bit of a tough position to be starting this race in, if I'm being honest. In the middle of the pack going towards turn one can be dangerous. J-Ray starting a lap. Nice and tidy through the first chicane. Ammo is coming to the line. maybe to start a lap. Keeps it nice and tidy through. Oh, just as I said it, J Ray's lost it and through Scary. Should have waited till he was out. What looked to be a pretty solid lap for J Ray comes to an end in Scary.
It's like one of the rare occurrences where I don't speak and someone else spins.
You've passed it on to me now.
You've broken the seal now.
Electric Blade has called it quits to his qualifying.
It looks like Cornish Mantis also has decided to retire in the pit lane. I think he's fairly happy with where his lap is.
Pipe Tech is just about to start a lap. Prentice coming to the line behind him. I believe he's also beginning a lap. Maddie is retired from the session. Dan Rabo does not improve, but he looks like he's going again. AJ coming through Parabolica now for what will surely be his final attempt at qualifying. Can he improve? No, he jumps in the pits. So 19.5 is the time to beat. Will anybody get close to it? Lots of people are already calling it quits for this qualifying. J Ray has invalidated his qualifying is over. Jack King looks to
It
be
looks
giving
like
Taser a
the.
tow.
I was just about to point that out. We have Taser and Don Ammo just about to round Parabolica and finish their laps.
Oh my goodness, what an improvement from Taser there. It's a 19.6 and Don Ammo right behind a 19.7. So those two will be second and third respectively. Just in the last minute, they managed to pull something out there. El Prentice has invalidated his qualifying's over. Dan Rabo still on a lap, out of battery, out of fuel. Taking it to the line. And he's enough
He
for
still
P6 there.
improves.
And Pipe Tech is
A
invalidated,
mighty effort
unfortunately.
from Dan Robbo there.
That's it for qualifying.
So we have Wine-Side and Ecos Hawkey not setting lap times. I don't know whether they had spent the whole qualifying session in the pit lane. I don't think we saw them out on track. So it just makes you wonder what's going on there.
Yeah. I wonder if they're waiting for the sure carnage to happen into turn one and hopefully get away from that and benefit from everybody else having accidents into turn one. But either way, this is our starting grid for round 12 in Monza. AJ getting pole with a 19 point, followed by Taser in the Haas or E-Bird, as we more commonly know him as. Coast on Ammo P3, Matty Rabo P4, Electric Blade P5, Dan Rabo P6, Jack King P7, Cornish Mantis P8, J Ray P9, El Prentice P10, Pipe Deck P11, J Prentice P12, and Ecos Hockey P13. Obviously, did not set a lap. Johnny Damon serving a quali ban did not set a lap. Sped at P15 and Y Inside P16. What are you thinking,
Seems that was
Haas?
a. I was just about to say, it seemed like a rather uneventful qualifying. We didn't have any shock results aside from the final two laps from Taser and Don Ammo. But aside from that, it seemed like a fairly smooth qualifying. We didn't have any shock results, as I said before, and I, for one, cannot wait for this race start. And I will most definitely zip my lips for this race start, as we have a certain someone on pole position.
A certain someone.
I
What,
shall not mention them by name.
what are you thinking for predictions tonight?
Ooh, I feel like let's just make sure that everyone gets through turn one safely, and then I think we'll make our
That's
predictions.
cheating.
I'll
That's
of course
cheating.
leave you to I'll leave you to make your predictions.
Take a look at the pit crews T-posing in the pit lane.
Well,
Pre-race ritual.
that's one territorial threat display I did not expect to see in F1 motorsport.
Looks like they're spooning
It's
as well.
bizarre how F1 teams in real life haven't tried that. It is quite intoxicating staring at them.
Here we go for the formation lap. Alright, take a look at the grid here and make my prediction. Oh man, this is tough. Because our championship leader, who's always just on my podium prediction, isn't here. Cornish Cuck. I don't even think we mentioned that championship leader is not racing tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but it's always a sorry sight not to see a especially good racer and a teammate of mine not racing. I think something else that we should mention is the tyre selection. We have eBird slash Taser starting on the soft tyres, Spudhead also starting on the soft tyres, and everyone else seems to be choosing the mediums, bar Don Ammo, Cornish Mantis, J Ray, and Y Inside starting at the back of the grid. So I feel like from these tyres we can make fairly accurate predictions. Of course, all being well into turn one, which it hardly ever is. But I think I'm ready to make my predictions, if I may, BK.
Go ahead. Yep, let's hear him.
I think we will see a shock win from Ecos Hawkey. That's a bold prediction right there. I think P2 we are going to see Electric Blade, and P3 I am going to go for eBird or Taser.
Alright, I got that written down for you. I think tonight.
I of course had to follow the rules of not mentioning someone.
I would agree with that. I think I think you know what, the Ferrari is gonna do some tonight. We'll see El Prentice just get on that top step from P10. Matty P2. Blade P3. So I've got El Prentice, Matty, Blade.
It seems we both have some high hopes for Electric Blade. He seems to have proven himself in the previous two races, of course, last week with that Grand Slam.
Yep, he certainly did. I think we got 5 lights. Let's go racing. AJ gets a pretty good jump. So does Electric Blade behind. He's already pushing Don Ammo. Electric Blade up into P3 already. And AJ's dropped down into P4. But Don Ammo's missed his braking point. The Haas is going through. And
Oh, we
Blade's
have the
around.
McLaren and the Ferrari. Oh, it's chaos in the midfield.
Jack
Don
King has
Ammo
got
with a
away into
penalty.
P1. Yeah, Don Ammo missed his braking point and had to go across the chicane there. AJ's still trying to make up the moves that he lost in the turn one. And he's going to get both of them
Oh
done.
my
In through the
goodness.
chicane. What a move. Through goes AJ. We've got yellows in the back.
That's, that's the power of silence right there.
It's still early. We still need more silence.
Ooh, Cornish Mantis. Contact out of the second Lesmo. Oh no. Oh no.
No,
I
He's
don't
lost
know
that
who he
second
hit. I
back.
think it might have been Jay Prentice, one of the Prentice brothers, who are now in P6 and 7 respectively.
The biggest winner off that first lap was Jack King up into P2 from P7, as well as Jay Prentice, Ecos Hockey, and Y Inside making up positions. Electric Blade and Spudhead are battling out back for P12 here.
We can just see on the main straight now, there is a huge gap between Taser and El Prentice.
There is a definite sign of two trains forming. Y Inside and Ecos Hockey making a
Ooh,
Alpine sandwich with Maddie.
there's a lovely scrap going on at the back with Electric Blade and J-Ray.
We get the predicted pit stop strategy yet again. Thank you, game. Broom broom, says Skooma Doomer. Oh, Spudhead's lost it out of
Oh.
the exit of the second Lesmo.
Oh, I think we had someone going wide onto the grass to avoid him.
Electric Blade made up two positions there.
Oh, Jay Prentice losing out of Ascari. Oh no. That third curb, that third slightly raised sausage curb. And now he's in P15.
It's a
Oh, that's not what you want to see.
similar instant to what we saw in quali for him. It's unfortunate.
All too common a mistake we see.
Taser and Dan going side by side in
Y
turn one.
inside
Taser holds it.
and Electric Blade also side by side.
Looks like
Y inside sending it up the inside, and he's ahead into turn 2.
Don Ammo had some issues into turn one as well, and he's dropped back a few positions. So it's AJ leading, Jack King leading Taser, being pressured by Don Ammo and Dan Rabo, who are making a little contact through the second chicane.
I can see just in the back Spudhead and Jay Prentice both making pit stops or drive-throughs, I'm not quite sure. Jay Prentice is on the soft tyre. He is pitted for the soft tyre. That is a very bold strategy. Maybe expecting a safety car to come out at some point.
Hoping for a safety car. AJ sets another fastest lap. Let's bounce over to this battle for P11 here. We got J-Ray, Pipe Tech, and Johnny Damon in a little train here, keeping each other company. Pipe Tech
Oh,
gets the
Electric Blade.
DRS, makes the move down on J-Ray. Electric Blade,
And
you're saying?
just ahead of him, yeah, just ahead of him, Electric Blade made the move on Y inside. Lovely clean move into turn 1. He didn't need to fight that too hard, and Y inside's just now cruising behind him. Maybe going to hope for either a mistake or just to take advantage of that DRS to repass him.
Spudhead's jumped into the pits again. Don Ammo is.
I'll tell you what. Oh, sorry. Continue.
I should say Don Ammo is still keeping these guys company on the hard tire. Up in P4.
And I'm just looking through everyone's ERS. The person on the least ERS now is Y inside, and he is absolutely melting his battery to try and keep up with Electric Blade on those new medium tyres. Obviously, Y inside on the harder tyre. Oh, El Prentice has lost it out of Parabolica.
No.
Oh, the two Ferraris. The home crowd will be furious.
Absolute horror in Monza for the Tifosi. But it's early yet. We know these guys can can stick it out through tough races and still make some stuff happen. So if anybody can make it happen, it's these two.
Yeah, it's never truly over at Monza. There's always that chance of a safety car. It's not the safest track in the world, and there's always the chance to overtake. Even more so when you're as brave as the Prentice brothers. Oh, as I say that, Jay Prentice spinning
Electric
out of
Blade
Parabolica.
lost it. Ah, through the second chicane, it looks like he's down in the P14 now. I wonder if what you said at the start of the race, if that's having any effect on driving right
I,
now, the
I
tire temperature.
Yeah, the weather is obviously a lot cloudier, and it's somewhere on the dashboard when you are in the menu. You know when you're in the pit lane and you see that those TV screens, and you have that little tiny number that tells you the track temperature. And I have a feeling it's having a very big impact on the grip levels on this track.
Johnny Damon gaining on Pipe Tech here. Looks to the inside. A little bit of locking. He makes that move stick.
Very nice and clean through there, avoiding the Hamilton Verstappen incident of 2021. You'd love to see some clean racing from these two. I've just seen Spudhead with the fastest middle sector. He seems to be storming his way back, but he has a lot of time to make up.
An Electric Blade, I think, is retired from this race.
I saw him just coming into the pits. Was expecting a pit stop, but no, I think he's decided to call it a day. Ooh, Ebird, what's happened here?
Ebird
Taser out of
was running
Ascari.
P3 out of Ascari. He's lost it down to
Oh,
P12.
and as I said, J-Ray also out of Ascari.
Oh
They're
no!
dropping like flies here.
Just survive Ascari and you'll be on for a good race at this point. Looks like Don Ammo's putting Jack King under pressure into turn one though. And he's got that move done already.
I feel like that'd make a good a t-shirt. I survived Ascari. Maybe Ferrari have some fashion opportunities.
Taser jumps in the pits as well as J Ray.
I think I can just see a clash of strategies here. J-Ray on the medium tyres and Taser on the hard tyres, really weaving those hard tyres into action, trying to warm them up. I, for one, know these tyres are very hard to get into their operating window around this track, especially because you do run such low tyre pressures.
It's definitely a difficult balancing act. Now what's Jack King gonna have to say for Don Ammo now that he's got the DRS down the main straight? A little far back at the moment. Jay Prentice has got past J Ray into Ascari.
Oh no, I see Matty Robbo and into Ascari. He is stationary. He's just making his way back on the track now after a little spin. Oh, and it looks like there was a very, very close call there. Oh, or I may be going slightly insane as I appear to have had a very big lag spike. That may explain the situation.
I was like spectating Maddie when you said that as Taser gets a 3 second time penalty. I was on board with Maddie and you said he lost it. I was like, wait, where? Oh man, that's hilarious. This game, man.
I don't think you believe me unless I had the proof.
Oh no, we have a red car out through Ascari.
Oh, it looks like this is an actual one, not a ghost car.
Jay Prentice again, having troubles through that Ascari. Everything seems to have slightly fizzled out by now. The only real train we have going on is behind Pipe Tech with Johnny Damon and Cornish Mantis.
I can just see Jay Prentice coming out of the pit lane with new hard tyres. He's going to be looking to take those to the end.
I think another Prentice just lost it through Ascari. El Prentice. The Ferrari is not enjoying that part of the track tonight.
You just wonder if it might be setup related. The Prentice brothers are public about their setups, and everyone knows their setups, and yet they're still a real pain to pass. But it seems like it isn't working for them on this track in particular.
J Ray, the yellow flag for Ascari as well. I think Spud has lost it out of Lesmo.
It looks like he has no front wing either. That's going to be unfortunate, in addition to everything that's gone on this race.
Skuma Duma in the chat says they had 2,500 on Spudhead to win. Does that mean that we claim that money if that doesn't come true? Are we the house? House always wins,
I
right?
mean, you, you can always remortgage your house if you need a bit of extra gambling money. Though I wouldn't recommend this, and let's say for legal reasons that's a joke. We do not obviously endorse anyone to remortgage any properties they may have.
This is not financial advice. Pipe Tech has put a bit of a gap between the two cars behind him. The main gap is closing in on Dan Robbo now between Ecos Hockey and his teammate Matty Robbo.
That seems to be the only real battle going on at the moment. The only other potential battle I could see would be Pipe Tech and the Johnny Demon, but it seems he's managing the gap very well, as you said.
Matty Robbo at the back of his train sitting with the most ERS compared to Dan and Hockey. Oh
I
my goodness,
think
poor
we're
Cork.
starting to see. Oh,
Hockey's making
sorry,
a
please
move.
continue.
I had the onboard camera on. I didn't even realize. I thought it was the other onboard cam. And Hockey was trying to make a move, but Matty Robbo got by him instead. So it's Williams 4 and
I,
5
I
at the moment.
think I think we're starting to see a trend of everyone who seemed to burn their ERS in the early stages of the race now just suffering. I can see Don Ammo, Jack King in particular, Dan Robbo as well, and Ecos Hawkey all using all of their ERS to make these moves at critical stages during the race, right before the pit stops.
And as you say that, Ecos Hockey jumped into the pits there, trying to get the jump on those two that he was racing. Tebow says driver swap, driver swap. I did see that. It looked like Dan was once Matty got behind him was letting Matty go by with the extra ERS. Just let him pull along, but that is going to definitely set off a bunch of pit stops. Everybody from
It wouldn't be
P4
a
and 5
it
down.
wouldn't be a race at a Ferrari track without some typical Ferrari shenanigans.
The driver swap, is that what you're saying? Typical Ferrari shenanigans?
Yes, I do recall there was one controversial moment in the 2000s, I believe it was. Though I suppose the same could be said for Mercedes these last few years, but I think we should avoid the drama that is real life F1 and just enjoy the race.
Exactly. Now, it looks like Matty Robbo's jumping in the pits to try to cover off Ecos Hockey. Jack King also jumps into the pits. Meanwhile, Dan charges on with Wine-Side for company.
Oh, the Johnny Damon is trying to pass Pipe Tech. Pipe Tech defends the inside, going to force Johnny to go around the outside. And it looks like he's got a semi-decent exit, the Johnny Damon. But it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to make the pass this move. Pipe Tech, however, is on 6% ERS, so he seems to be a ticking time bomb for that move eventually.
Johnny Damon now with the DRS. Coming into Ascari. Doesn't have it yet. AJ jumps in the pits. Don Ammo stays out. On the hard tire, he's planning on going a little longer on those, along with Wine-Side. Dan Robbo jumps in the pits.
It seems AJ and Dan Robbo spent quite a while on those tyres, over halfway or nearly halfway through the race now.
Be interesting to see where Dan Robbo comes out against Matty and Ecos Hockey, who are nose to tail coming down the straight now. Dan Robbo is just coming out of the pits. And it looks like Dan is going to hang on to that position after the pit stops. So the decision to stay out a little longer pays off.
These
Matty loses
are
the position
critical
to
corners
Hockey
now.
into turn one.
Yeah, it seems the pressure's on Dan Robbo and AJ to warm up those tyres before anyone else can catch up to them.
Yep, that's the thing. Hockey has had an extra 2 laps over Dan to heat those tires up, so he's going to be charging at this moment. Matty needs those tires to heat up quickly so he can help his teammate out. Ecos Hockey taking a look into Ascari, but thinks better of it.
As you're watching that battle, I can see Don Ammo and Y inside in the pit lane. Looks like they're going to be on fresh mediums to the end of the race.
Johnny
And
Damon
the
picks up
Johnny
5
Damon,
seconds.
oh no, it's so easily done around here.
It is, it really is. Around we go. Parabolica again down the straight. Dan Robbo is under pressure. Oh, so
Ooh,
close
that
to the
was a
cars coming
very
out of the
close.
pits. But Don Ammo stays ahead of Hockey.
Yeah, absolutely nose to tail, not even a car length between them.
And Jack King is just hoping that these guys fight each other a little more so he can pull away.
All the while, this is just making things a lot more comfortable for Jack King, as the more they fight, the bigger gap he gets.
Exactly. Wine side a little out of shape through Ascari. Kept it together. Pipe Tech charging on with those 16 lap old mediums.
Yeah, Cornish Mantis too, looking to go long on those tyres. He may be under pressure from his teammate though. Looks like he's going to have to let him through if he can't match his pace.
We've got a
Oh, I
yellow out
see
of
a yellow
Ascari.
flag. It's J-Ray.
He's got the car moving again.
It looks like he lost it on the middle section, that very quick right-hander, which if you take just a little bit too tight, it can raise your right wheels up, your non-load bearing wheels, and that can just unsettle the car and send you into the wall. I think he's lucky not to have wing damage, if I'm being honest. Doesn't seem like he needs to pit.
It looks like Don Ammo has gotten rid of that early penalty that he got with his pit stop. So he is effectively in P4 right now with those one lap old medium tires, just getting past Jack King.
It looks like he's net P2 actually when Pipe Tech and Mantis eventually do pit.
Exactly,
He's
yeah.
he's great recovery from him, especially considering the penalty, like you say. I think we've just seen some Red Bull team orders there. Cornish letting his teammate through.
Probably the wise decision as Side is losing some positions. We're fighting with Dan Robbo into turn one. And we have another yellow in sector 3, Scary. Side still fighting for this position with Dan.
I've just had eyes on L Prentice entering the pit lane, getting a replacement front wing. He's now on the softs. Ooh, and I see a little bit of front wing scattered on the exit of Ascari as well. Oh no, who's that? It's Pipe Tech.
Tasers out of
Pipe
the
Tech has
session in
lost it. It is a safety car.
I think, yeah,
Oh
full safety
no.
car, full safety car. Ah, I thought we were gonna make it.
This is an absolute godsend for Cornish Mantis. He is in a very good spot here. Has stayed out this entire time. He's going to get essentially a free pit stop now, and it looks like he's going to go on the soft tyres, I would assume.
I would assume that that is the way to go. I wonder though. He's got his full-time full-time teammate ahead of him. I wonder if those four-lap old hards are not going to cut it for him for the final stint. He's going to want a pit stop as well. Maybe that'll slow down Mountis and slightly mess up his plan, but still smart play to try to stick it out to the safety car. It obviously worked.
I can feel my heart racing. Let's just keep it quiet, and we'll see a good result.
Yep.
That's a real shame from Taser there. He was on for a real promising result as well.
Yeah.
Had a fantastic race. He was running P2, I think, for a fair amount of the race as well.
AJ is gonna jump into the pits. Mantis obviously
Is,
jumping into the
is
pits.
we're going to see the Red Bull double stack. I don't think he's going to lose
And
a
get
whole lot of
this,
time, but
Don
who do
Ammo
we have
stays out,
staying?
Wine Side stays out.
I think that's a wise choice from them, if I'm being honest. Four lap old mediums, it's
I agree.
well, they have a lot of grip. They have a lot of grip left. They're not entirely like melted mozzarella, at least not for a few more laps. They should have some grip for this restart.
Nobody else taking the option to pit, but I believe that the lower half of the field got the option on the previous lap.
It seems we have a dead even split between who wants to be on what tyre. We have Donamo Y inside on 4 lap old mediums, Ecos AJ on fresh softs, Cornish Mantis his teammate on fresh mediums, Jack King in P5, running net P5 that is. He's also on the soft tyre. Ecos Hawkey and Matty Robbo behind him are on the mediums. Pipe Tech, Dan Robbo and the Johnny are on soft, medium and soft. J Ray is just pitted for fresh mediums. L Prentice and J Prentice on soft and medium, running in P12 and 13, which is safe to say not what we expected before the lights went out.
No, not what was expected. And looking at the position changes now from the start of the race, since we've got a safety car break, would you believe that Wine Side has come back from last on the grid to be in a second place position at this point? That is quite impressive. As well as Eco's Hockey making up 7 positions. I believe neither of the Alpines qualified, so
Oh, J Prentice is just retired in the pit lane by the looks of it. I think he's just decided to call it quits there. It's a real shame.
certainly is. So we will have what will be, what, 6 laps to the end?
I have a feeling the safety car will be in this lap. I think J Prent or L Prentice is going to have a bit of a struggle catching up, though we have yet to see.
Yeah, it's crossed the sector 3 line, so don't think it's coming in this lap, or else it might have said already.
If that's the case, it seems like L Prentice has done a good job with his strategy here. He's on the freshest tyres out of the whole grid, sitting in P12. He's on 0 lap old tyres. It seems we have, we have the biggest losers, of course, of this race being our people who have not finished. We have Electric Blade lost towards the start of the race. Spudhead also lost in the early stages of the race. Taser, I believe, who caused this safety car on those 11 lap old hard tyres. And Jay Prentice, who we lost as he retired in the pit lane, unfortunately deciding to call it quits. And J Ray and Johnny deciding to pit for fresh softs. I think that's a very smart move from them.
Yep. Yeah. Decided to come in the pits and maybe Apprentice will make a position before they get out. No, it doesn't look like it. So we're gonna have lap 23 to 24, supposedly. Well, 23 to 27,
I
so 4 laps. No, 5 laps.
Yeah, I think we'll get 5 laps. We have all of lap 23 through to 27. That's 5 laps of good racing. Hopefully, we won't see too much drama with tyres. Let's hope they all stay fresh and we see some nice clean overtakes. No one wants to see a scruffy race.
Looks like coming to sector 3 now. And the safety car is in this lap. So 5 laps, and I honestly think there's 3 or 4 people with their name in the hat for a win today. Only one person can take that, and only 3 spots on the podium. So who will come out on top? As Don Emma leads the field away from our first and hopefully only safety car restart tonight.
It will be interesting to see just when he goes. Oh,
Looks
as
like
I
he's
say
going
that.
now. Gets away nice from my inside, who's under a little bit of pressure from AJ in a slipstream. All clean there for the top 3. As Jack King is looking
Ooh,
around the outside of Cornish.
there's a scruffy battle going on between Dan Robbo and Pipe Tech. Dan Robbo losing out big
As
time. He's
Jack
forced
King
to
has
give up
lost
2
it as
positions
well.
there.
Out of the exit of turn 2.
It's all seeming relatively clean through the Lesmos, coming into Ascari.
Yeah, the only real action happening that lap is with Jack King losing and a couple guys getting side by side in turn 1, but all is stable for the moment.
Ooh, I've just seen Wyonside's ERS. That is not looking too healthy. He is on 30%, and Don Ammo is cruising on 60%, just burning a little bit. Coming into the Curva Grande, he wants to make that 1 second gap before DRS is enabled.
J-Ray took a look on Dan Robbo there. J-Ray's lost it out of the second Lesmo just after I said that. Just getting nice and tight with Dan Robbo there, but it's unfortunately not got his car going the right way.
Ooh, Cornish Mantis very wide out of Ascari. You just wonder if that's going to open the door for Ecos Hawkey. I think DRS will be enabled this lap.
4 laps to go. Mattis losing touch with the top 3, trying to keep the rest behind him. And Hockey is gaining down this straight quickly. Has the inside for this turn. Cornish won't be able to fight him off from there.
Ooh, he just clipped the inside curb of turn 2. and you just know that's going to lose him time coming into the Curva Grande and into turn 4.
Prentice and Johnny Damon are nose to tail as well, coming into the second chicane.
And we have just one soft runner in the top 6. Those mediums are really, really working wonders for the top 2 especially.
His Wine side and AJ have both completely drained their battery. Oh, Wine side off the track. AJ follows him a little loose out of Ascari. He's dumping as much as he can just to get anywhere close to the back of him.
All
Meanwhile,
of
Don
this is just
Ammo,
going to help Ecos hockey.
yeah, Ecos Hockey and Coast Don Ammo are both loving that these two are just willing to drain their battery for anything. So AJ's gaining down the straight, not going to be able to make a move, but he goes for it. Takes a look, not gonna make it stick. Helicopter cam brought to you by Fan Attack.
The best helicopter cams and the best wheels.
I don't want to switch off this heli cam. It's such a good perspective to see these two in the final 2 laps trying to fight for the second place on the podium as Don Ammo is certainly pieced out 2 second gap to Lion side now.
Yeah, it seems to be whoever gets DRS coming into this final lap is gonna hopefully make the move. Oh, we have J Ray spinning out of the second chicane. Ooh, I've just seen Johnny Damon going past El Prentice, who went very wide out of Ascari and was very lucky to keep it out of the barriers then.
Very nice. Yeah, AJ is right on the back of Lion side now. He's gonna have DRS, which Lion side will not have the luxury of. Can he get this move done? He's pulled alongside on the inside for turn 1. Swoops around for turn 2, and that move is done for now. They still have to hold off for the rest of this lap. Both Alpines pushing behind him. Nose to tail through this final sector. Inside is not ready to let this move go. He's going to have DRS down the next straight. If anything's going to happen, it has to be now. He's gaining. AJ's not going to want to let him have the inside. Forces him around the outside. He keeps that position. Nicely done. Only a few more turns to navigate for him to hold on to that P2. As we hop on board here with our proposed winner, but the
Oh,
Alpines are going
the
side by
Alpine
side in the final
teammates.
turn. AJ's loving it. Don Ammo is going to win his second race in 3 races. AJ finally finds the podium.
Oh, there's a little bit of feisty behaviour going on for the Alpines. I don't think they're very happy at all.
No,
I think there's going to be some choice words for them.
no, I don't think team orders were in play for that last lap whatsoever, but
It'll
Wine
make
does
for an
nudge out his
exciting
teammate.
race.
Yes, exactly. Ahead of Ecos Hockey with only 0.036 seconds behind his teammate there coming across the line. Cornish Mantis stayed out on those 18 lap old hards. Made that strategy work for a
We can
P5.
see J Ray doing some celebratory donuts before rounding the final corner. I think he's earned a break.
Oh! That's one way to park a car.
Oh, all's well that ends well. Wyonside, driver of the day. You feel he deserved it, Wyonside. He had a really good race, especially coming from so far back on the grid.
Came from last on the grid and found himself a P2 finish. Good for him. I think this is neither of us have anyone on the podium. All right, top three.
Well, I'm very thankful that AJ got the result he wanted. Hold him. It was a last lap for me there. I mean, well, if it was stressful for me, you can only imagine what it was like for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be slightly disappointed to not get the win today because he was in complete control up until that safety car, but must feel good to have escaped turn one terrors and alive long enough to get yourself on the podium. So congratulations again to AJ rectifying what has been a rough couple of weeks for him in Monza. We've got the finishing grid here, cost and ammo of course. P1, AJ P2, Wineside P3 from P16, awesome race for him, and the other Alpine Ecos Hockey not too far behind in from P13. Congratulations to those two. Cornish Mantis P5, Matty P6, CLR Pipe Tech P7, Dan Robbo P8, Johnny Damon P9, El Prentice P10, Jack King P11, J Ray P12 with the celebratory donuts, J Prentice P13, Taser P14, Spudhead P15, and Electric Blade P16.
And just while you were doing that, I'm hoping to get the top three into the party and hopefully do some interviews if that's all okay with you.
Of course, yeah, of course.
We're just looking for Don Ammo, hopefully get him in as well. And Y inside.
Alright, I will bounce back to the showroom here and we can get started with some questions. Showroom. Alright, who do you want to start with, Haz?
I think you know exactly who I want to start with. Cos AJ, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Should have been my win.
It really should. You were absolutely rapid and well totally in control for the majority of that race. It was the safety car that was I wouldn't say your undoing, but I'm sure, like you said, you felt you deserved the win. I mean, talk us through. Starting on pole position, I believe. No, not on pole position. P3, sorry. Um, and just talk us through that first lap because we saw an incredible move from you on that opening lap, and just tell us what you were thinking and were you intending to take the lead on that first lap, or did things just sort of turn out the way that you wanted them to?
Well, first off, mate, I started P1. Cheers for that. It's alright. It's alright. No,
It's
no,
been a
no.
long race.
I had wheel spin, so I dropped back to I think it was like P5 or something like that, and then I got back into P3 in the first corner, and then I somehow made a move on both Dynamo and Jack King into the chicane. I was back into P1, which honestly surprised myself as well. But yeah, from there on, was leading the race, had good pace, everything felt alright, and yeah, I already was thinking and saying to Dynamo like the only way I'm gonna lose this is either I crash or there's going to be a late safety car which messes me up, and it did.
That seems to be the case with races. You're cruising on, and then you get a little bit distracted. I mean, I've had it a few times where I've been complacent, and I've had some fair due punishment waiting for me. But the safety car is obviously not your fault. It's unfortunate that you
Hmm.
did get demoted to P2. You definitely deserve the win, but
Yeah, I
it's
was
still a
giving that
fantastic
everything.
result.
I
and
was trying
you'll
to
be
get
pleased
to
to know
P1.
that
What'd you
you're
say?
you'll be pleased to know that your superstitions have been satisfied. We did not mention you throughout the race, and
See,
you've had the result that you wanted. So
it's real. It's
congratulations.
real. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, congrats, AJ. Yeah, just for me, it looked like a pretty crazy start, dropping back, but good on you to not get caught up and make the moves early like you needed to. And yeah, unfortunately the safety car came out, kind of ruined your dominant race, but still pretty awesome that you managed to get back up into P2 after that, and just a solid race overall. I think it's a great bounce back for you. So congrats on that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'll
Uh,
take it.
awesome. Who are we moving on to next? We got Don Ammo in here, I believe. The winner.
Yeah, I think left. Win.
That is for you to tell us about your race yourself. Do you just outbreak yourself there and had to go for the runoff at that point?
Well, I had a decent getaway considering I was on the hard, so then obviously AJ had a tank slap, and I had no one in front of me. But then, right before braking, I saw left and right of me, um, just the front nose of other cars, and I thought, okay, I'm a bit late on the brakes. There's people on the inside and then on the outside. I go straight on, so I can keep the car. Um, Not damaged, I guess. But then obviously that cost me with the 5 seconds, and I also slowed a bit down on the exit just to let the others catch up again. And then AJ pulled a move, and laps later, yeah, I just tumbled down the order a bit after that.
Yeah, certainly. It's pretty tough when you have something like that happen in turn one whenever you're so close not to lose a bunch of positions. But pretty impressive for you to come back. When you saw that safety car come out, were you always the plan was to stay out to try to gain as much track position as you can and go for the win?
Um, Honestly, before the safety car came out, I knew I was uh, quick. Not maybe not as quick as AJ, because he was obviously managing and I was flat out. Um, but I knew the win was out of reach. But then obviously the safety car changed everything. I was I stupid decision at the time because I thought, okay, I'm not gonna pit because I think Cornish Mantis was on a different strategy and he would have got a free position on me. But he would have been held by AJ in the pits. So that's part of the reason I didn't pit. And then also, Wine's side was looking pretty quick, and I wanted to have track position on him. I honestly thought AJ would come back and still win it on the softer tire, but I think he had a hard battle with Wine's side. Yeah, sometimes just luck. He had tough luck there.
Yeah, yeah, he did have a little bit of unfortunate luck, but that is 3 wins in the last 3 weeks for the Alfa Romeo crew to stop, or are you just gonna keep on this win streak in the next part of the season?
Like one of us DNFs and or doesn't wins.
Oh,
Would
there
be
you go.
cool to both on a podium like we did in Silverstone.
Yeah, definitely to be finishing races and putting up good points and getting a challenge. That being said, is there anything else either of you want to say, or how's these two?
Yeah.
I think just a general statement. I know we don't have Y inside in the interview room, but it's fair to say he had a fantastic race, and I feel like it was a lot to do with the strategy call made in the safety car period. It's like AJ was saying, he pitted for the soft tires, and then Donamo was saying obviously the soft tires would wear out, and if you're having battles It's all such a careful balance when the safety car comes out, especially a race that you never really know who's going to win, and it's entirely up to the drivers around you that make the results. And I feel like that's what makes, at least watching, the most entertaining races. So I'd just like to thank you both for joining us and sharing your experiences, and I'd like to thank you for creating such entertaining races for us to watch.
You're welcome, mate.
We try our best.
Awesome, guys. Well, with that being said, we'll wrap this up here. This has been round 12 at Italy in Monza for the EU2 Championship Contest of Speed. I am BK, and for Haas, Mania, for AJ, for Don Ammo, and Y Inside, thank you for joining us, and we will catch you next time. Not next week, but a week from, 2 weeks from now in, where are we at? Hungary, I believe? Yeah, 2 weeks from now in Hungary.
Yeah.
Alright, see you guys.